Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. D. Eric Body Beats. It's a vibe.
All right. It's the CARESNONE Be Dope podcast. I am your host, Chris CARESNONE, and with my co-host, D. Eric Fisher. What's up, baby?
What's going on, baby boy?
Oh, and we got Tom in the house.
Hey.
We got Tom in the house.
We sure do.
I thought he was gonna get a
You know what? Hey, as a matter
I
of
can
fact,
work on that. I can work
what are
on
those?
that.
What are
telling
those?
you.
It's like a deck.
I got these buttons. Yeah, I can do whatever you
Oh,
want.
so
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
I can
You have
program
like sound effects. That'd be
You
kind
can
of
have
dope.
whatever you like, actually.
whatever. I can program whatever you guys want. Yeah.
That'd be good.
You guys don't have headphones, so you won't be able to hear it. But
That's fine.
Oh, okay. So I
But
just
it
have to
would be
trust
in
that.
there.
That would be
you know what you're
fun.
doing. I just trust that it was funny.
we can give you some intro music and stuff. You know.
I wonder how the Fresh and Fit podcast. Y'all ever seen that? But they so the dude, so they have a podcast, bring a bunch of people on, and he has the deck right there.
Oh, yeah.
So he has an engineer.
Yeah.
And the engineer has the buttons, but then he also has like this deck.
That's what Wallow and Gilly
yeah.
have.
So then you have like certain
Yeah.
sound effects.
He does it all the time. Me.
Yeah, or like Dom DeMarco.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And there's all kind of things you could do
Yeah,
to
that's
like,
cool. I
to
like that.
add a little extra. So
That's cool.
I forgot what those things are called. There's one that by
Stream Deck.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What's that? Elgato?
Elgato. Yeah.
Elgato. I was into that field. Anyways, what's up, man?
Chilling, man. All good. Everything is wonderful. It's been Crypto City.
Okay, explain. What you talking about?
I mean, shit, let's get into it.
Yeah, what you talking about?
I feel like we
What
get
you-
into crypto as soon as we start talking every time.
But real talk though, that's the future.
Yeah, that's the now, motherfucker.
That's the fucking future.
Billboards and all right now. I was riding up the highway seeing billboards. But yeah, I'm officially in crypto.com now. Like all the way in. I got $4,000 staked into their crypto coin. And if you stake it into their coin, then you get access to their debit card, right? And on the debit card, it's 3% cash back. So everything you spend is 3% cash back. Plus, you get Spotify and Netflix 100% free, reimbursed to you.
Which ends up being what, like $300 and something dollars?
However much Spotify and Netflix is you paying a month times 12, whatever that is,
Right.
You ain't paying for that.
And,
no more. And that's automatically
And
invested. in
Prime
the company.
too?
Well, that's if you invest the $40,000 into that coin.
Okay,
The
that's
one
the
that I
next
invested
tier.
in is the
Okay.
$4,000. So you put that into their coin for 6 months, 180 days. They hold it, and then that's so they can invest the money to grow and do what they want with it. But then, like I said, that $4,000 gives you access to that debit card,
Right.
which is 3% cash back on it. So I've been kind of working
And
that and
that's
seeing how I can
3% cash
play
back on everything.
on every single thing you spend on it. But it automatically grows into, it's 3% cash back that goes into Crow. It goes into their coin. But you can convert that to actual fiat money if you want to. Or you can just keep it in Crow and just let that shit grow as the company grows. I mean, as you spend, it's gonna just grow and grow with the company. So your
And for
10%
people who
cash
don't
back
know, Crow,
is a coin.
yeah, it's the crypto.com coin.
Right, it's the crypto.com coin. So it's gonna be like a competitor of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the others.
So what you're talking about is staking,
yeah.
which is
Staking.
kind of like
Staking the 10%.
right. So you're staking so for the people who don't know, I had to learn what this was. When you
Right.
stake a coin, you're essentially saying that you're not gonna touch it.
Right.
Like you just said, so then the company can do whatever they want to do with it, but then they reward you
Right.
almost like a dividend
Yeah.
for doing that. And there's some coins that offer different versions of it, and there's different rules for certain ones. But the one you're talking about, Crow, it's 3% back on all purchases with the Visa card.
With the Visa card, yep.
And what was the percentage back of the $4,000 tier per year? 5%?
No, it's 10%.
10%.
The stake in the company. So like, okay, so I put the 4% in there or $4,000 in there, and I would get 10% back on that throughout the year. So that means I would get $400
And hold on. And
spread throughout the year. Once.
but
a
if
week.
the price of the coin goes up,
And
you
that's the
get
price
the
of the-
percentage of that too.
Exactly, as it grows. So
So
it's
it
not
could be-
just
right.
it's not just at $400 or $4,000
No.
and it's just you're gonna get $400. No, as you invest in it, as you keep spending money,
Right.
and as the
Because that
value
4,000
grows,
could turn into 100,000.
Exactly, exactly.
And
So
you
that
would
was
get,
just a
you would get the 10% on whatever the number was.
right. So that was just a smart way for me to move the money around and get into the crypto space. Since they have a good platform for me to be able to trade crypto coins, I can trade on that platform and I can use it as a bank, honestly, with my fiat currency, and I can have access to a debit card that gives me 3% cash back. Meaning that instead of my credit card, I can get, like at my current credit card, I get 2% cash back with one of my better cards. But I'm still gonna owe you, which is fine. I'm gonna use that money if I have to pay later. But if I got a card that's better than anything that you can give me, that's giving me stake in the company,
Right.
and 3% cash back.
I mean, no. Banks,
Why would I?
Banks can't compete with that.
They haven't competed with it. I don't know if they can't, but they haven't.
I mean, well, they can, but so they're gonna have to switch their whole way of doing things. They're gonna have to just get on board.
Yeah, I'm trying, and that's been the biggest hassle doing this whole crypto.com thing. Has been the banks. I've had to do wire transfers and ACH transfers that I couldn't do through apps and through websites. I've had to go in. Like, I went in last week about 5 times to the bank.
Right.
It was crazy, but trying to get this all together. But it's funny because I'm realizing that they're just not privy to this shit yet. They're so new that they're really just kind of, I'm teaching the bank tellers a lot of shit.
Right.
I'm telling them about this .com card, and they're like, oh shit, this is, damn. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna make this my bank account now. I'm gonna take all my money out of here. You sure you wanna?
Right, 'cause they
yeah,
don't
absolutely. Because damn, this does make a little sense. You know, but what did you think about that? Yep, thought about that too.
And it's always gonna be that way when you're trying to adopt a new thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Are you into the crypto world, Tom?
You know, not really. I have some Dogecoin as a meme.
There you
but
go.
that's it.
Hey, there you go.
Dope.
Hey.
So you into crypto?
But not past that. But I'm it's interesting hearing you guys talk about
Oh man,
Dope.
crypto. First of all, for a fact, the number one asset that you could have had all last year and for sure the last 10 years was Bitcoin. So whatever you put in a year ago to today, it would have been the biggest return you could have gotten. And in the last 10 years, nothing's even remotely close to the amount of return you would have got had you put money in on Bitcoin then. And right now it's down.
Right.
But like 10 years ago, what was Bitcoin like? I don't even know. What, $2,000 a coin? And now they're each $49,000. And at one point, about a month ago, a couple months, maybe 2 months ago, it was $69,000. So like, it seems like this is the quickest way to make money right now, but you have to deal with the volatility of it, which we talked in the car. You need the volatility. But because there's the most gains, that high potential for gains, that also comes with the risk of volatility.
Right.
And understanding.
And like I said before, people who are iffy about the volatility of it, I mean, the stock market historically has been the most volatile market in history, but it's also been the most profitable market in history. So that just comes with the nature of volatility, you know, and Bitcoin, not Bitcoin specifically, but crypto just so happens to be a competitor of the stock market, you know? So it's just a new system. It's just, and that's the whole point of the volatility. That's why it's so, you know, up and down with it, but it's just a market and it's just new.
Right.
But it's a market that's here to stay now. It's just digital.
It's too vicious.
It's digital, and that shit ain't going nowhere. So you know this ain't going nowhere.
Right. And then what's interesting to me is that the reason why the volatility is also needed is because when the market goes down for whatever reasons, for the human psychology, it goes down.
Yeah.
Then the people who were never really in it for the right reasons in the beginning will get out. It's almost like a shaking of the motherfucker. And so then the people who are left still, those people who are stayed because they believed in it, actually make it stronger because they really believe in it.
They make the coin stronger.
They make the coin stronger.
And in a stock case, they would make the company or Coca-Cola stronger.
Right.
Right. It's the same
So
thing.
you want to
It's
get
the same
the
type
people
of game.
out.
It's just a different, yeah, go ahead.
You want to get people out that don't really believe in it at the end of the day.
Correct.
You don't want people in that, like I don't want people on the CARESNONE coin. I would rather not. They're doing it just so they can make money. I would hope they were doing it because they believe in the CARESNONE coin and they just so happen to make money.
Right.
Personally, I would rather that you really fuck with the brand and not just because you can make money off of it, right?
You want to make some, but that's the beautiful nature about all of this, man. Like people can actually make their own money, their own ownership out of this shit.
Right. And
I love that
the fact
play.
that you even can is crazy.
I love that play, man. Like, and that just entices me to just be a creator, or anybody I feel to be a creator and just learn how to create the community, and everybody can just eat off of that shit. Everybody can just eat off of that shit, man. I don't know. I was just even telling my mom today, right? Because you know she got the insurance and tax business. And she sent me, she was helping somebody. She went on Fiverr, hired somebody for $10, make an ebook for one of her tax, just homies in Alabama or some shit. And she gave him the book and everything. He's super excited. And I'm like, Mom, why don't you turn these into NFTs? You can create a whole, hear me out. You can create a tax marketplace with all of these digital content that you know people are gonna need. Sell them as NFTs and shit. And then they can be resold and whatnot, and people can just like, you can like make them scarce, and then it can become valuable and shit like that. Like you can create a whole tax marketplace with all of these different digital assets that you know that's valuable. And she was like, oh shit, okay, I can, just to even play with the thought of it, like, okay, that's kind of cool. So just the fact that you can have ownership and then have other people lead that ownership on their own is dope.
Yeah, the whole blockchain
Kind of sounds pyramid-y, but
I mean, it is though. No, but it is though.
but isn't every system?
Yeah, it's
every,
like,
every
so
system
I
a
think
pyramid?
sometimes that gets a bad rep for what
True.
it is, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think crypto is, one, interesting. You know, and we kind of talk about this. I actually wanted to talk about this. It's kind of a good segue about energy, right? Because I'm really big on this energy thing, you know, and then creating our own realities. And I was talking to you, Tom, about people call it the law of attraction, and it's like, you know, haha, it's funny. But I believe, and I believe this is a fact, that scientifically everything is energy. Like everything, it takes energy to do everything, right? So like if I want to wake up, and I know this for a fact, because when I wake up in the morning and I go to sleep at night, throughout the day, my body literally used energy to run, right? And the food is what we use as energy. So everything is literally energy. Even think, move is energy, right? And it takes a lot of it. Our thoughts are also energy. So if you just if you realize how powerful how about this? You could literally think, and then it transforms into a cell phone. Mm-hmm. We talk about this all the time. Our thoughts are so powerful that it can create, like somebody thought of an airplane.
Right.
And now you can go across the planet in a few hours, relatively speaking. And it was somebody thought it first. So that's how powerful and that's how much energy is in thoughts. It can really manifest real shit.
Right.
Right? So if you realize how powerful that is, that's a fact. Why would you ever have thoughts, or why would you desire to think things that were not conducive of living the life that you want? Mm-hmm. Why would you think anything outside of not doing that when you know that thoughts are that powerful? So why would you not always just be like, the people call me like optimist. Why would you not? Like, right. like why would you not? Yeah. Like, and I know you're a pretty optimistic human being, right?
Yeah.
Like super optimistic.
I just live in my own head.
Can we help people? This is like one of my things to feel that, because I believe for us, you and me, and we're gonna learn more about you, Tom. But eventually, like it's pretty natural for us to be optimistic, mm-hmm. but not everyone's like that. So right. And, you know, so let's. How do we help?
So are people not respecting their imagination again?
I mean, probably, because that's what their thoughts. Or they probably
thoughts.
don't respect the yeah. Because
and that's just me. I'm just comparing it to myself. I literally just respect that I live in my own head, and I just respect what's in my head. And I just put it on paper and put my money where my mouth is or where my head is. And that's it. So I think that people do struggle with just respecting their imagination. Like, okay, that sounds cool. That sounds dreamy. Like, I actually live out my dreams or whatever's in my head. And I think people do live in or allow their dreams to just be a dream.
Like they don't necessarily believe that it can manifest into real shit.
Exactly. And there's always an easy reason to not do something versus to do something. You know, it's always easier. Like you talk about energy, it's easier to not conserve or what you got it. You know what I'm trying to say. How you say it? Preserve comes something your energy.
Assert your energy, something
like that. It's easy to do that. You know what I'm trying to say. But it's less easy. No, it's less.
Concentrate your
that's
energy?
not the word I was looking for. But it's less easy to.
No, motherfucker.
No, it was something else. But it's less easy to just do something than not to do something.
Facts.
Say that.
Facts.
Yeah.
100%. So, like, why would you ever not live? I'll say this quote before and I'll say it again. Albert Einstein. A person's greatest decision in their life is whether they're going to live in a hostile universe or a friendly universe. The choice is theirs. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, and I think it takes a little work at first because normally you're so beat down from, you know, being life and jaded and shit didn't happen, and because of how we looked at it, which goes into the point we want to talk about, is creating your reality, which is just your thoughts. Literally how we sense everything from touch to smell to taste, it all gets computed in our minds, right? Mm-hmm. That's a fact? Is that a fact?
I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but
Can you?
But it sounds good. I like how
I'm not crazy, right? Like,
I want.
no,
right.
no, I'm serious. Like, if you
I don't know if
touch
it's all. I
something,
mean,
What do
you
you
do
want me
have
to
a lot
look
of
up?
body. I don't think your mind is controlling everything, but
no, it goes to your brain. You have to. That's how it goes through. When now you think about it. If I tell you right now, hey, my bad for interrupting the podcast, but I gotta throw a little bit of love to CARESNONE.com. You can go in there and get links to the social medias. You got your Instagrams, you got your TikToks, you got your YouTubes, you got all kind of stuff on there. You got links to the wing review. You got links to the audio and video version of the podcast. All kind of stuff on there. And most importantly to me, which is very important to me, is you get your merchandise on there. You can get you a B-Dope shirt just like this. Join the movement. There's a lot of people joining this movement right now. You should be a part of it. And I would really appreciate if you'd be a part of it. This serves as a daily reminder to be the best version of yourself and not give a damn about what these other people think about what it is you want to do to be the best version of yourself. And for the people watching this right now, use promo code PODCAST and you'll get 20% off your order right now. Right now. For all the people who are watching the podcast, you get 20% off right now. Promo code PODCAST. Thank you. See you next time. Now back to the podcast. Look at that computer. You're going to look at it, and now your brain and your eyes, this computation happening, and now you're thinking of the computer.
right.
Right? So in other words, everything is happening all at once, and our way of experiencing reality is through our brain, our minds, through our senses.
Through our senses, I would
Through our
say. I would say
senses.
through our senses. Yes.
Right. So like if you know that, it's like you just control, just concentrate those thoughts and feelings and everything you can is hyper focused on whatever you want, and that will create your reality.
Right.
Because so you might say, well, we can't control, like if someone gets killed in an accident, right? You can't control if you come home and your house is burned down. Mm-hmm. True, you cannot control that. But what you are in control of is how you respond to that. Mm-hmm. So you might say, damn, I came home and I have nothing, right? I have absolutely nothing. You can either be the person who goes, oh, I have nothing, I'm fucked. Or you could be the person who goes, damn, I got nothing, now I got to get something. Mm-hmm. Either way it happens, the energy's got to come.
Right.
The energy's going to go somewhere, so why not focus it on the things that we desire and the things that we want and the mindset that we want to have. But what happens is I feel like as people, and I know I've done this in my past, and I ain't judging nobody, we focus our energy in things that aren't conducive of the life that we want. A lot of times it'd be drugs, maybe it's girls, maybe it's fucking 2K basketball, whatever it is. And that's cool if you are content. Because I don't give a fuck what you do. If you want to just play 2K all day, you should do that. But if you in your heart, I feel like if you desire something else, the first place to look is where you concentrating your energy.
Right.
Which is also money too. Same thing. Like where are you spending your money?
Everything is energy.
Yeah. What are you thinking about? What are you watching? Who are you talking to? Who are your peoples? Mm-hmm. How many times have we heard you are the sum of the 5 people you're closest around? Is that not some true shit?
Right. Yeah. Who you around? You gotta. the energy you creating and moving around, or it's shit being lost or not appreciated. It can be that way too. So it's important to keep that around you, like the 5 closest people and shit needs to be some solid ass motherfuckers.
Now check this out. I saw something on TikTok and it was really powerful. He's like, well, what if I live in a town and I just don't know I don't know no killers. I don't know nobody like you, Chris. So what do I do, right? So the tangible advice that he gave him, I thought was brilliant because I've done this without even realizing it. Just make an image of your brain of the person that you would like to be your mentor. Because our minds cannot decipher between real and fake. So you might as well just give it the thoughts of, I fucks with Albert Einstein. So if you watch all his shit, listen to all his shit, he's essentially your mentor.
Right.
So just take advice from there. So that's a good way. So like, what would that person do? People do this with Jesus. What would Jesus do? Like, so you can really create your own killers.
Right.
By just the thoughts. So you quite literally control your reality by just thinking that.
So that's why when I got into the whole storytelling shit and that really fucked my mind up last year when I realized that all we've ever done is just been trying to tell stories to each other. And that really got me because it was like, whatever you do, all we've ever done is just create a character. So any person that you've liked or been fond of, that's just a caricature of themselves that they've made, that they've created. You are yourself, Chris, but you are the character of yourself that you've built. You know what I mean? You are the personality, I should say, that you've built. So I will always say, don't be afraid to have a personality and to have that as a character. So it could be, I don't know what people's issue is with it. But I think of somebody like super hard, like I always use like a 50 Cent for an example. Super hard personality, like super just cock diesel, all this other shit. I'll fuck you up, all this other stuff. But it's just a character. At the same time, it's a character. So yes, that can be a part of something that was in your life, a real reality that was once a part of it. But he monetized something that's a character, and now is a businessman out of that.
So would you say a character is like a persona?
It's all a persona. But what I'm saying is, by us being a species that has to live by storytelling, don't be afraid to create yourself as a persona, because that's all we ever have to do anyway. That's all anybody that's successful, whether it be a business or a person individually, they just accepted their persona and dug into it. So we have to really be in our minds and accept that, yes, I can create this shit. I can create this persona, and I can put all my energy into that shit, because that's what being a successful person
let
is.
me interject a little bit so that we can break this down to first principles. Where does authenticity play in this?
Go further.
So like my point is what if I'm 50 Cent and on social media, so to speak, I'm portraying this human being, which is my character that I'm allowed to portray, right? But I think it works the best when you're doing that, when it's authentic to who you really are.
Okay. I mean, who's to say that's not authentic to his experience?
No, I'm not saying it might be. I'm just saying, but there's a lot of people who are trying to portray a certain lifestyle, but they're not really living that lifestyle, and that's why there's no alignment with what's really going on, because that's not really authentically you. So we were talking about earlier, we're learning ways to be ourselves so much that we're going to get paid for it.
Right.
So like at the end of the day, to tell those stories that you're talking about, the best way to tell the story is to be authentic, because every single person has a story.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's literally a story.
Right, and that's why I like 50 Cent's story, because that was literally his story. And if you see his creations today, even with his series and whatnot, it's still based on those type of stories from Get Rich or Die Trying. His mom dying, or a powerful woman always being in play, but still dying young type of shit, or having a little boy that's kind of raised in the streets. Like, it's still the same type of energy, but he's just making a business out of it, a story out of it, if you will, a lifetime story out of it. So I think you just have to, whatever your story is, whatever your trauma is, like you just said, like he got shot 9 times. That's a big ass traumatic moment. And you can see 20 years later, he's still creating shit that's based on that trauma, if you really think about it. But he's creating that. So whatever your trauma is, just have an imagination and really dig into your character. Like, you can be whatever you want to be. Just imagine that shit and put the energy towards it.
Right. So you can't
how
just
you
create
react.
the person.
Yeah, that's all we really can do. That's how we try to make sense of everything around us. We've just created characters out of everything.
So do you think it's more
Animals included, spaces,
create the
religions.
character and then aim for that person, or be the person and then paint the story off of the person who you are?
I don't know how to get. I don't know about that, but
No, let me say it again.
I don't even know what you just said. Actually.
Yeah, it was even.
You know what you just said?
As I was saying, I do know what I was saying. But even as I was saying, I'm like, ooh, that could be vicious or very stupid. Is it, when we're talking about creating stories and characters?
Yeah.
Do you think it's more powerful to actually be that person and then write stories based on that, or have an idea of a person and then aim to be that?
It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to aim to be a criminal writer or something like that, you shouldn't probably go be a criminal necessarily. You should probably.
But see, you know what's crazy though? But there's people on the planet that would probably disagree with that.
I know,
Which
I
is
get
crazy,
that.
right? So it's
but
like
if it's okay, that's fine. But if you want to go to jail and risk that, that's cool. That's perfectly fine. I'm not saying.
Right.
I'm not trying to combat anything. You know.
I think that's kind of dope though. It's like, nah, you can do what the fuck you want to do. It's just you understand the way we play this life game and there's rules to it. So
right,
if you want to take that risk, so that's why. And I'm starting. You ever fuck with stoicism?
Go ahead.
You ever fuck with stoicism? It's like it's an old ancient philosophy, Roman times, if I'm not mistaken, like Seneca and those kind of fools back in the day. Epictetus, I think his name was. Anyways, the whole and I'm probably about to completely fuck this up.
Don't fuck it
As a matter of fact,
Don't fuck it
could
up.
you hey, could you please Google what stoicism is or stoic? Because the whole idea is like looking at stuff for what it is as opposed to what we want it to be.
What it is.
Watch.
That's interesting.
Stoicism, the endurance of pain and hardship without the display of feelings or without complaint. An ancient Greek school of philosophy founded by blah, blah, blah. The school taught that virtue, the highest good, is based on knowledge. The wise live in harmony with the divine reason that governs nature and are indifferent to the, I don't know how to say that word.
I love it.
I don't know what the fuck that word is. But yeah, that's a mouthful. I don't know if that helped add any clarity, but.
I mean, but yeah, so to me, the way to break it down in Chris Campbell terms is the way they just pretty much see shit for what it is, not necessarily inherently good or inherently bad.
It reminds me of Buddhism, actually.
Yeah, very, very Zen-like, for sure.
It's Buddhism.
Or like Taoism. I don't know if you ever fuck with Taoism, the Tao Te Ching. Actually, the fact that I know that makes me feel really happy. But it's an ancient philosophy too, and it's like it feels like we sometimes get away from the things that really work the most for us as people. You know, like at the end of the day, people have been figuring a lot of this shit out since the beginning, literally the beginning of human beings. And if we just listen to the people who've been doing it already, we can it's easier to get through this shit.
But I think there's always been struggles though, and that's the issue too. So it's never been easy. It's actually getting a lot easier to live overall, and I think that's never. And now we can never turn our brains off.
According to Stoicism, the reason why it's never been easy is because of how people are perceiving it. So that's the whole idea.
Right. I get what you're saying.
You looking it's tough.
Okay, I'm glad you just said this, Chris. It's so interesting. I'm sorry, I'm speaking to the mic. So I was just looking at something where they were talking about animals. Right. Say what you just. They were talking about animals and how animals just will go get mauled. Like a gazelle would just go get mauled and shit by a lion. And they just look at it. The other gazelle just look at it like, oh shit, that's fucked up, and just keep on going. Because like it's just part of life. But they ain't like, damn, I need therapy now, and shit is hard. Like I got this. It's like that's just life. But we don't have that though, Chris. We got these shits that create a whole bunch of like imaginations and like keep going. So we're not that type of species that can really. I don't think we can just live stoically. I don't think that. So, and that's ancient Greek philosophies, and I don't agree with a lot of ancient Greek philosophy, actually.
So you don't really like the idea of stoicism?
I don't think that it works for us as a species correctly because we do have emotions attached to things that happen to us, and we recognize our traumas. Maybe animals, they don't recognize their traumas because they don't have the capacity to, or they recognize it in a different way, I should say, maybe. But we recognize ours in our
that we aren't aware of, maybe.
Exactly.
See, now...
Because they are fucking... That's a wild animal is... That's a wild life. Like you always can die at any moment. That's a vicious way to live. So I feel like since we live in this
cushy,
this cushy lifestyle,
cushy environment,
right? Exactly, that we created for ourselves. Like we are able to recognize certain shit like that.
Yeah. So I guess, and the reason why I'm leaning towards some like the Stoic philosophy a tad bit is because they admit that shit happens,
right?
But to look at it in a way that it's going to happen regardless. So how do we maintain an idea? What's the best way, at least from their point of view, to deal with the fact of the treacheries of life?
Right.
And their whole way is like, it is what it is. Like, for instance, a very Stoic philosophy to me is we're all going to die, right? Mm-hmm. It's very emotionless. It's all going to happen. However, the way I look at that is that makes it that much more sweet.
Right.
It makes me appreciate moments more now. That's why I'm not, the fact that I know that, I don't want to be late. I don't want to waste y'all time because I realize how important, and I think a lot of times we don't put significance in the now moments. We don't put enough energy into now because we're so focused on the future, which is good because you want to be prepared. But we put even more energy a lot of times into the past, which literally only helps to some degree because you can help you be prepared.
I just had a high moment.
But hold on. But we don't focus on now, and there's not that many nows.
But I'm wondering if any species focus was truly on the now, and if that's a very human characteristic, because we're always trying to focus on the future. Like if you think about it, everything is always trying to build for the future. We're trying to eat for the future, store for the future. So I wonder, is this the concept of living now is a new concept. Living for the now.
Well, so they've been trying to talk about that in ancient philosophy for, since the beginning. But personally, it's helping me get through life a little easier in my own story that
Okay.
It's helping me feel better about existing because I realize how finite it is.
Uh-huh.
And because I realize how finite our time is, and maybe just getting older, I realize I don't want to make certain risk anymore because I don't have many of these moments left of now. Like right now, we're in a moment, and it's like super powerful because we're having a moment right now. And literally, it will never exist again. So, and it's like super scarce. The now is scarce, and we don't treasure the now a lot of times. And I noticed that when I meditate, I noticed that when I'm in this float tank, I noticed that when I'm now like having sex with people, like the more I'm in the now, the more I feel like I'm enjoying it, and it was helping me be content more because I'm not too focused on the future. It's helping me live life by focusing on now more. And I get better at it. I still focus sometimes too much on the future, and even in the past, which is really ridiculous to me. I mean, to a degree, you want to be prepared for the future by learning from the past.
Right.
But you can also hold on some traumas from the past that don't really serve you no purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
I think it's all tied together, the past, present, and future. I think it's all you should focus on all of those, in my opinion. That's kind of how I live my life. I actually love the past.
Like equally?
Yeah, I like it. I focus on all of those things because all of those things are my life. I have a past, I have a present, and I have a future. So it's...
Yeah, but see, so personally for me, the reason why...
I think when you focus on the trauma, maybe that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Past.
Focus on so that was the point we actually want to talk about early in the podcast about thoughts, right? We don't really control our thoughts. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that you don't control your thoughts because watch this. Don't think about that computer right now.
Right.
Let me guess. Did you think about the computer?
Right.
Because so you really can't control your thoughts. So, but you can hold on to the thoughts based on the power again of the thoughts that. So, for instance, you ever heard of a train of thought?
Right.
No, I'm serious. I actually said that a few times. People are like, no. They're like, what do you mean you never? I swear to God, a couple of times it happened.
Dumbass.
Yeah, but like a train of thought. So then,
I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, which means your thoughts are coming in linked up.
Yeah,
that you have thoughts like always coming in, and a lot of times what we do as people is when those thoughts start getting into like a spiral, like a down spiral, it's a train that we literally hopped on, metaphorically speaking, and we just continue to just down the path of these thoughts. But what you don't realize is you can get off the train.
Yeah,
you don't have to and it would be dumb to put so much focus on those thoughts, especially the bad ones, when you were never in control of them to begin with.
Right.
And here's how you know you're not in control of your thoughts, because meditate for 3 minutes, and I bet you, if you say, I'm just going to focus on my breathing, a billion times you're going to think about 1,000 other things. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So we're literally not in control of the thoughts. Mm-hmm. But what we can do is, once we learn how to make our train of thought from set of shitty thoughts and then try to teach ourselves to think more good thoughts, we can hop on the train now and then ride the train of thoughts to a good place.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of us, and I'm going to use myself as an example, in the past, I would take some of these shitty thoughts and still do it at times. And I just stay on the train. And then I got to remind myself, wait, get off that train. Hey, you should have been off. Get off now. You can get off now. That's cool. You missed a couple stops. That's cool. Get off now. You don't have to take it all the way to the hood. You can get out in the loop. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, oh shit, where am I now?
Right. But when it's good, you can hop on the train and say, oh shit, this shit's going to the loop. This shit is nice.
You can take that train and don't be afraid to take that train.
Just stay on.
And I think that's where I'm also play. Like, if you want to respect the train and just respect this train and just go with that motherfucker wherever that's gonna take you, because it's gonna take you into a place where you want to be regardless. Well, if you let it, but I think some people allow that train to go shitty. Well, that's what I mean. I'm trying to preach to just use your imagination and just go for that train regardless of whatever, out of anything.
Right.
Well, yeah, whatever your imagination is, I believe in that train more than anything. And I think you should. That's the train that people don't get to express enough of. And that's why it's a distraction for so many other things.
Their imagination is, I won't say the word shitty, but what if their imagination creates not great thoughts for them, and they don't want what their imagination is creating?
Well, that's the shitty thoughts. I'm talking about the imaginations that are healthy that's going to get them in the right place. I'm not talking about anything that's getting them in a shitty way at all.
Okay, so you can't just say blindly follow your imagination if you don't believe you're in a good spot.
No, when I say your imagination, I mean something that you normally wish you would have time to think about and create and do. And then that's something, but you for whatever reason you haven't been able to put your energy towards that. Go super hard in on that train, and that's what I'm saying.
So devil's advocate, and I'm only doing this because people could be listening. I want to always ask questions to everyone else, including myself. And I think I know how I would answer this. What if someone goes, but I always imagine shitty things. Like I imagine myself not being successful. I imagine myself not being, you know what I'm saying? So like, how do we get people to change their imagination?
What would you say?
And I think that goes back to the surround yourself with the 5 closest people. And if you can't do that, go online and follow the people who you think have a better imagination than where you at. That if you believe you want to see better things and you can't necessarily see yourself in them because your imagination ain't popping for whatever reason for that, follow people that do, and then by taking in their energy, it'll be easier to convert your energy with their energy to get to that. That's what I would say. That's what I would try, because a lot of people do feel stuck. I would say most people in shitty thoughts and shitty imaginations, or a lot of people. There's people that really don't believe in themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
There's people who really don't think that they deserve. Some people don't even think they deserve to have abundance. So like, how do we teach people that like you really deserve whatever you want in this world?
There's a saying that's like, if you believe you can or you can't, you're right either way.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that that's kind of what you're talking about. And I think for people that struggle with like achieving things, it's like if you don't have little achievements and such, it's hard to kind of see like the bowling ball effect and such.
I like that.
The compounding interest.
And starting from zero is just tough, you know? So if you don't have some achievements on your belt and you haven't been able to see other people achieve the things that you want to do, then yeah, it seems very difficult. But like I said, surround yourself with good people and believe.
Right. Well, and that's actually super powerful. So I told you about that. We kind of hit on this maybe 2 weeks ago about the atomic habits. Sometimes our ego gets in the way, and so like, oh, you know what? I'm a work out. I'm gonna go to the gym for 2 times a day. You know, January 1st, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go hard body at it, and that's kind of, we talked about me being an extremist. The problem with that is it is extremely hard to sustain that, especially from ground zero. So it might be okay to, actually it's not, it is okay to tell yourself, damn, maybe you should just start by just trying. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you just need one day to not eat bad. It might seem like the reward for doing the one day seems so small and trivial, but maybe that's what you need, because that's what place you are. So just add those small trivials, and then like you said, Tom, that snowballs and compounds into bigger accomplishments. And so don't focus on the big goal, focus on like the actions to get the goal.
Right.
I feel like this goes back to what you guys are talking about living in the past, present, and the future. I don't 100% agree that we have to give equal attention to all, but I feel like if you just live in the now, you haven't planned it all for the future, so there is never going to be like a good, perfect now for you. And if you don't look at the past, you're not going to know the way to steer the ship for the future. So I feel like you do kind of have to.
Yeah. So what percentage would you put on it?
I'd probably put the biggest chunk on the future, to be honest. And like,
I can see that,
because I think,
wouldn't be mad
like I
at
said, if you don't plan for the future, the now is like not what you want it to be. I feel like I think that there is some truth behind it. I think that there's been a push recently for people to focus on the now and just like enjoy the moment, because you're always longing for more. I'd have a hard time. I'd have to think about it a little bit, but I guess I'd probably be like 60 in 2020, or maybe like 50 on the future. I don't know, 30 on the now, 20 on the past.
Man, I like that insight. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, everything that's right now was somebody's thought in the future, or of the future, anyway. You know, so
including your own.
Right, exactly.
See, so I'm just going about my personal experiences, and living more intentionally in the now, more so. So for me, I would say the way I think is an optimal way to live my life is like 60% now, 10% past, and then 30% future. For me personally, because there's certain things with my brain emotionally, in my mind, that I have allowed myself to consider. Like for instance, eating. Eating is a problem that I have, and a lot of times the reason why is because I'm not living in the now. I'm thinking about the next meal, literally while I'm eating the meal, not really enjoying the meal now because I'm too focused on anything. A lot of times they even say when you're trying to lose weight, and I lost a ton of weight, but I still have a problem with it. So like, what's really going on? I'm starting to break down the fact is because I'm not living enough in the now when I'm doing things. I'm too focused on the next desire as opposed to like, no, you're good now. Like if I'm eating, I'll be honest, I'll be eating chicken wings and if I'm being honest to myself, the more intentional and now I'm living in those, like when I'm eating, I don't need nearly as much as I would eat had I not been living in the now.
Focusing on every flavor, every chew.
Let me ask you this, even when you're having sex with a woman, when you say it's way more powerful when you're there with them now?
I think what you're trying to say is being intentional, mostly about everything that you're doing. And I think that's more so representative of the now. Maybe that's the focus. It's about necessary. Yeah. So maybe you can still have that focus be in the future and everything, but it's just like when you're doing something, it's like it's very intentional. So you can plan for the future. It's just super intentional. So I think that's kind of but I feel that way about the past too. The reason that I document a lot of shit is because I know it's gonna be my past, and I respect that. I want to be an old ass man looking at my timeline of my life and shit. So I respect the past and like my present. And the future, like it's all kind of for me.
No, I can see it.
You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this: How do you feel about like the guy who goes to the concert and Travis Scott's there and it's your favorite nigga of all time, but you're too busy posting the snippets of the moments of you being there online?
It's just if that's his way of documenting his shit, then I'm fine with that. I'm not here to tell anybody how to tell their story.
Oh yeah, you can tell a story. Yeah,
me personally, I've been that's what I'm saying. I've been that guy on Snapchat recording Travis Scott literally in the pit with it and doing all that stuff. But I've also been the guy at a concert where you don't even know I'm there. I'm just like so focused and I just want to be right here with it. So it's just at different stages of my life, I've been at different places with it. But it's all about what story you're trying to consume and create and tell and whatnot. And I'm not here to really pick point at people on how to do that necessarily.
Hey. My bad for interrupting the podcast, but I gotta throw a little bit of love to CARESNONE.com. You can go in there and get links to the social medias. You got your Instagrams, you got your TikToks, you got your YouTubes, you got all kind of stuff on there. You got links to the wing review. You got links to the audio and video version of the podcast. All kind of stuff on there. And most importantly to me, which is very important to me, is you get your merchandise on there. You can get you a B-Dope shirt just like this. Join the movement. There's a lot of people joining this movement right now. You should be a part of it. And I would really appreciate if you'd be a part of it. This serves as a daily reminder to be the best version of yourself and not give a damn about what these other people think about what it is you want to do to be the best version of yourself. And for the people watching this right now, use promo code PODCAST and you'll get 20% off your order right now. Right now. For all the people who watching the podcast, you get 20% off right now. Promo code PODCAST. Thank you. See you next time. Now back to the podcast. And my whole thing is, so I'm a human being who has these thoughts, so I figured there might be other people in this planet that might think that way too. So I ask questions that even might seem like obvious, but life ain't very obvious to most people. Life is pretty goddamn miserable to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. And a lot of people are upset. And here's how I know this is because I get plenty of DMs of like, man, your perspective is helping me change my life for the better. So not everyone, because they're just my story that I'm telling, they just fuck with it. So I get that 100%. But I definitely think there's different ways that some people could tell their story that if you told it this way, could probably help you tell your story better.
I think that there's so many ways that you can tell a story, and I think we always try to box people in on how they should tell their story, and there's so many different ways that we don't even know that can be told. So
yeah, but they might not understand how to tell a story at all, and they desire the way you tell it. They like I like the way De'Eric tells his story, so I'm gonna fuck with that.
That's fine too.
So like even me personally, like your story of your life that you've created, and the person that you are, and who you becoming, and in your past. I like that story, so I fucks with it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, but there's and to me, it seems like a conducive way of telling the story, and it seems like you desire to have, I don't say figure something out, but you desire more of this life.
Right, of the life that I've created for myself. And that's you know what, it's always interesting because we need inspiration from others, right? But within that inspiration, we still have our own story regardless. And so it has to be our own play on things. And I just like really respect people's individuality But I also know that we need inspiration on top of that. So I just think it's a glue of both of those. Like you really need to, I think more than anything, you have to respect your own personality, your own character. I think that's gonna solve all of this shit, in my opinion. Respect your shit and really own that shit and put your money where your fucking head is. And everything else is really gonna fall in place. I really believe if you ride that train,
too.
that's kind of my philosophy on all of this shit. That's good riddance on all of it. But yeah, I really believe if you just hone in on that shit and just go on that train, I don't think anything can stop you. It's just how energy works.
Right. See,
It's gonna be hurdles, all that other shit in the way, for sure. But if you keep going, you're going to see the shit that you want to see. Trust me.
right? It's like and now that you've been on this path for a while now, can you try to explain that to where like if you really just buckle down and focus, how like this shit does manifest?
Right.
Like how like to me it's like 100%.
Yeah, it's
like it's
good.
guaranteed to happen.
It's good, guys. I'm telling you, it's good.
Would you say that you focus a lot of your daily energy towards your overall vision?
Absolutely. It's becoming like whole schedule, routine, lifestyle.
Even
just
how about this?
health,
Even for
everything.
leisure, would you say that even your leisure time is still kind of somewhat involved with your story?
Oh, absolutely. Every lay down time, I'm trying to build something that's gonna tell my story even better, or create the platform for people to tell their stories. Actually, so I'm always thinking, but I'm always letting this thing run. I'm never turning this motherfucker off. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
That's all you have to do. Keep this motherfucker on and just keep it running. Just keep going with it. Shit is gonna happen in life. You're gonna have to pay this. Your girlfriend gonna break up with you. I get that. Like all that stuff gonna happen and deal with it with that. But you still need to respect your character that you're building no matter what, because that's gonna be with you until the day you die. Everything else can do all of this shit. That can be the one steady thing that you always have. So just put your shit into that.
And here's how a good way to, as an analogy, if it's all we're just telling stories, right? And let's talk about the ups and the downs, the volatility of life, right? Would it be a very good story? Like if you were to watch a movie, would it be a good story if there was no volatility?
You wouldn't watch that shit.
Would you watch a movie that was just
not volatile?
Hell no.
Right. Like, it's like you almost need.
I like those movies. Hell no.
It's like you almost need
Volatility.
like. What do I always say? It's one of the best quotes of all time, and I made this shit up. I swear to God, I feel this way in my life.
Of all time,
yeah, and I made this shit up. Like I forgot how you gonna forget it. The good shit happens after the bullshit. Every time. And here's the reason why. Think about every time in your life ever, every single time that you were like, oh fuck. We've all had those moments like, damn, that was a mistake or whatever. You survived. You're here right now. Right. If you're listening to this, and so we're talking about being in the now. If you're here right now, you made it. So like all that shit that you thought was so brutal, and I've been there like, oh man, like a big shit, like I'm fucked. It's like, no, you survived. Now, what about the people who they don't survive? Well, that was their story. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, honestly.
On some stoic shit.
Honestly.
But it's like, if you are here right now, if you are here right now, you win it.
You win it. Yeah, you.
What I say to maybe we talked about this. If I offered you, Derek, if I offered you $10 million, maybe I think I said this already. If I offered you $10 million, would you be happy?
If you offered me $10 million,
yeah, just like would it be beneficial?
It to me?
Yeah, just no strings attached. $10 million. How do you feel about that?
I feel wonderful about
that. You would feel wonderful, right?
Absolutely amazing.
What if I was like, oh, wait a minute, there's a caveat.
You gotta suck my dick in the back alley for 4 months at a time.
Yeah, you gotta take a dick in your ass. No. No, but I was like, wait, hold on. But before you get it, the only thing you gotta do though is you can't wake up tomorrow morning.
Right.
How would you feel about the $10 million?
I would feel less valuable.
Right? You wouldn't accept it at all.
Right.
Let me ask you this. Is there a dollar sign on earth that you would accept that?
No.
Is there any amount of energy on the earth that you would accept that?
At this point in my life, no.
Right.
If
now
you
might say, or maybe, I guess, but even then, like, that means you're gonna die. You got 8 hours. So maybe the only caveat, somebody else, it's a good point. If you like had a family,
Yeah.
I was about to say that's some family money.
That's
right
what I'm
there.
saying.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's family shit.
So like, and I think there's a lot of men out here that would say, you know what, I'll die right now, but they gonna be good. So minus that.
Right.
So just your own personal life.
Right.
Can't give it to your kids. All right, everybody.
Because I bet you there's still a lot of families that might not do that though.
Of course.
That's right. So it's
most I would say most on that one
You
wouldn't
still
do
gotta
that.
like sacrifice yourself.
wait.
Basically.
Yeah.
Do you think?
But it's a lot of people in the army, man. It's a lot of people that would do this shit for 10 million. There's people that would do that shit for free. They call it
Kill
soldiers.
yourself
Like,
tomorrow.
Right. That's a good
Or
point.
depressed people.
right.
Damn, that ain't right. Well, that shit ain't free though.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot to
But I
it.
know what you're saying. I know
But
what you're
they ain't getting $10 million.
But let's just say, okay.
And the family damn straight. They on
Here's the
Madison,
caveat.
They on Michigan Avenue, goddammit. And don't tell me they ain't.
Hey, let me get a dollar.
Government.
You think it's all? You think it's like mostly military men?
I don't know about
Vets?
that, but I know it's a lot of them asking me for money all the time. And I feel bad for the government.
All right, so that's the caveat. You have to keep it for yourself. All right? Would you accept the
No.
$10 million?
But you died tomorrow. Because ain't nobody taking this deal. fam.
No, nobody in
that-
history would take that
I know
deal.
it's
That
a
would-
long
yeah, that's-
way of saying. I know my long ass, drawn out ass story.
It was good. I like that.
No, but the reason why that's a powerful statement that no one on earth would take that money is that that's how valuable waking up is.
Right.
So waking up tomorrow literally is infinite value. And a lot of us don't treat waking up that way. Even when I wake up in the morning, how am I not like,
A lovely day.
and you might be like, oh, like, but think about that. If I wouldn't
Right.
give up $100 billion to not wake up tomorrow, that
Right.
means it's gonna cost me, it would cost $100 billion to wake up tomorrow. And I'm not like, I'm just like, oh, I gotta do this shit again. It's like, no, it's pretty
Yeah.
fucking powerful.
Right.
The fact that we desire to be alive, right? It's something inside of you says, do the things to make this existence worth living.
Yeah.
Why? It's like we gotta find ways to appreciate that power more.
Right.
Because I'll ask anybody that question and
Having
no
a
one on
reason to
earth
be
is gonna
alive.
accept that deal.
Right.
So everyone has a fucking reason to be alive because if I gave you the deal, you wouldn't take it.
So what
So
is your
that
reason
alone,
to be?
so that alone, you're fucking winning. Like that alone gives you enough. Like, damn, I am something. Unless, you know, you want you got something fucked up, and you're like, you know what? No, I don't want to. And some people do that, self-delete. You know what I'm saying? So if you got some serious shit going on, and I've talked to these people, you know, and they've hit me up and shit. If you got some of this self-deletion thoughts going on, go seek some help. You know, real talk.
For sure. I was gonna
Go
say
seek
that.
some
That's
real
what you-
help,
first and
or
foremost.
talk to me.
Right.
I
Seek,
got
that's
you.
seeking help. That's seeking help.
Because I'm telling you right now, it's just you just got to be around the right motherfuckers. You know, unless you got some shit like chemically fucked up. But if it's just a matter of, man, your surroundings fucked up, your mom's drug addict, your dad's father, you know, all kind of. A lot of people have these thoughts.
Right.
That ain't you. You can literally decide to create your own reality and live it by creating your own character. You just create it. I want to be this person. That's the kind of person that I am. Fucking, I don't even want to be. I am.
I'm telling you,
I'm the
can
kind
really
of nigga.
respect
I
your
am
shit.
that. I am that guy. It's my imagination. And who the
why
fuck?
not?
And let's say I was
This is
like,
only one
you're
life,
not
why
that
not?
person. Like, who gives a fuck what I think?
Exactly.
It doesn't matter because that's your goddamn brain.
I
Like,
love
fuck.
it. I love
Right?
it. When you can really, that makes you really not give a fuck. Like
That's the CARESNONE.
Your whole point. The whole point of being a person is to be exactly what the fuck you create. So it doesn't matter what the fuck you think I should be or anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? That your individuality, no matter how fucked up you think it is, if you create whatever you want it to be, that's the character you're gonna be. Just own that shit.
Just own it.
Own it. Cares none that shit.
And that's why. And listen,
you are
I've said it
pretty
before,
cool.
D. I'm gonna say it again. That's why CARESNONE will, for a fact, and maybe even after my time, I don't know when, and I'm not even worried about when. I just know that it is, because that's what a lot of us deal with is typically other motherfuckers. And we're not in control
Always.
of our brain. We
Always.
don't give enough, like you say, energy to our shit.
Yeah.
So live your life the way you want to, and not the way other people think you should. And I'm telling you, the more you authentically make that a thing, and you might have to chip layers of that shit. It might got to be pieces of it. You know what I'm saying? But the more you adopt that, your life, you will feel. You just feel better when you don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Real talk, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're not attached to the outcomes as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just not as it is what it is. Like, fuck you, and I'm gonna do it. And then, like, let's say I fail. If if we look at failure in like a positive light, and I know a lot of people are like, that's crazy. Who wants to fail, right? But it's like, that's actually how you know you doing something. You have to fuck up. Fucking up's part of the game.
Right.
You almost want to fuck up. Because then now you have
how to improve.
Because that's your biggest data point. Mm-hmm. That's what we learn the most when we fuck up.
Right.
Like, oh man, we didn't put this sound up, or no, I forgot to do
right.
this.
Fucking up is so much growth. There's so much growth behind fucking up.
But we stay away from it though. Like we like, I don't want. I've done it before.
To fuck up. I should
Analysis
say,
paralysis and shit like that.
Yeah.
We so worried.
Scared to fuck up more so than just fucking up. Right?
Which is what lack of. We worried about looking stupid.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that a couple minutes ago because it's like every thought that we have, we're pretty cool with our own thoughts if we have it by ourselves on some Tom Hanks type of shit on a desert island by yourself. But when it comes to but when it comes to other people, that's when it fucks all up. The minute we think about somebody else, then it's like, oh shit. But if we have the thought by ourselves, we're bam, bam, bam. I'm creating kitchen cabinets, earth, universe, everything,
Yeah, right, real talk. What about, okay, just because this thought came into my brain, and fuck it. Sometimes thinking about other people is extremely motivating.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
judgmentally, no, but then.
Yeah, right.
And that's when people fall down that wormhole of the thought, when it's a judgmental shit.
So again, hop off the thoughts.
Right.
The bad ones. The shit
right. Motivational versus.
Yeah, it's is there anything more sexier in your life than like understanding the human?
That's why I'm visual anthropologist with it, baby.
You know how many people told me, how many people tell me often, like they just don't. I always hear like, I hate people. Yeah. And I just cannot relate to that at all. 0%. I don't even use the word. I don't even hate the shittier humans, but I just don't. I don't hate people. I appreciate even the shit to the good. Even like a racist human being, I don't hate them. And the reason why is because they're only going based on the stories that they've gotten to that point. Because I guarantee you, had they grown up next to me this whole time, they might not have that thought. I guarantee you, whoever taught that, whether it's been the schools or the TV or your parents or your family or whatever, you put that same human being into a different environment, they would think differently. Different story to be around. So I don't even hate that. I just like, damn, it's unfortunate that that's where you at, but it is what it is. But I don't hate you.
Right.
I'm gonna protect myself.
Right, for sure.
I'll fuck you up if you come at me, but I don't hate you. You know what I'm saying? On some real talk.
I'll fuck you up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't play that shit, but but on some like just a human being. So do you relate to people who say like, I can't stand people? I like dogs more than people.
No, I understand what they mean, definitely. But I'm a person that humans are my favorite animals. So I'm in love with humans. So it's a different story for me. But no, I know what people mean. People don't connect with people a lot of times, and they connect with other animals and whatnot. So I understand when that happens. It's just that myself, I just fucking obsessed.
You personally can't relate here.
Obsessed.
Are you the type of person, Tom, who says, quote, I hate people, and then, quote, means it?
Nah.
So
I do like dogs, but nah. I mean, no.
So you fuck with people, like you like people.
Yeah. Well, I think you said at the beginning of this podcast about you can like be like a pessimist pretty much right out the womb, basically, and like I think people that don't like people have been handed some bad cards and are just like, I'd rather just wallow in my own self-pity than like, or like people just bother them because they either have achieved more or are in a spot that they're not in. Or, some people are annoying and shit, but like, no, I'm not one of those people. I wouldn't consider myself like a huge extrovert. Like I don't love people and stuff. But I to your point earlier, like I feel like understanding why people tick and why they are the way they are is like a huge life lesson, like an ongoing life lesson.
Yeah, like forever. Like it don't stop. It just keeps going.
Yeah, my thing is like being aware. That's what I want more than anything. And that's why people. That's why I love people, because I love the fact that I can be aware. Like not like any other being that I've ever known before, but I got the chance to be a human and be aware of that. I think that's fucking dope.
Yeah, and the cool thing about awareness is it could be the future, present, or past, right?
Yeah, that's why I respect all of them.
That's interesting. Yeah, because like my personal feeling right now is just trying to understand more awareness of like right now, which whatever.
Right, and that's cool. Right.
And that's just my personal where I'm at. And it really comes down to just being aware. Or even like with bad habits, just a lot of times we're not even aware that we're fucking making them or we're doing them or the things that trigger it.
Super habitual because we're not even aware of this shit. Like, damn, I've been doing this shit for a year now and I ain't even fucking know. I'm still going and I ain't even know.
Yeah, kind of like I guarantee you if there was a camera on your bed when you wake up for the next 6 days I bet you there's way more things that we just automatically do that we probably aren't even aware of.
Right. All type of shit.
Like brushing your teeth with your left hand.
Right.
We don't even realize that that's a habit that we brush it if you're right-handed. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
brush your teeth with your left hand and see how fucked up it feels.
Wait. I got one. I don't know if you do this. Let me know if you do this. If you've ever done
You about to say
this.
some old freaky shit.
Most likely.
You can just tell me.
You know, models and shit.
I do.
So when you're taking a shower.
Oh, here we go.
No, seriously. But when you're taking a shower, do you ever like take a shower and then rinse off and everything and like have to think if you took a shower? Like, did I just take a shower? Or do I need to take a shower? Have I been sitting here like letting the water just run on me, or did I?
Real high.
Nah, I haven't had that, but I was thinking you were about to say something that I had. I don't know. I have a somewhat constant thought about just like habit, where next time you guys take a shower, get out of the shower, I almost guarantee you'll dry yourself off the same way every time.
Oh yeah.
You'll have
the same way.
like just like don't make like don't think about the movements. Just let your body go into work, and you will have done the same thing that you've done thousands of times at this point.
That's awesome.
100%.
That's a habit thing for me that I'm like, I these amount of bad habits.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's one of those things where it's like, damn, you do this every single day, like it'll become part of your fabric. You know?
Right.
Like you will do.
And
That's how I
some
can motion
habits
myself. I start
are
off right
very
here.
good ones.
Yeah.
Right? It's good to have a habit of cleaning yourself
That's
when
a
you
good
wake
one.
up. You know what I'm saying? It's a good habit. So like habits are a necessity. That's how we learn to exist.
Yeah.
We need habits. Our brain is designed to learn from our past
Habitually,
to
yeah.
put yourself in the most optimal way to go forward. Right? So that's why we do these things. But the problem is our brains can't necessarily dictate between what's a good habit and what's bad. We're just going based off the reward, right? So according to, not to hit on that book again, but it's literally a game-changing book when it comes to habits. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And there's 4 parts to a habit. There's the cue, right? The thing that triggers the thing, like waking up, right? You wake up, now I'm triggered that the cue is I gotta go to the bathroom and take a shower.
Right.
And then you have the reward. No, excuse me, you have the cue, then you have the, what's the word I'm looking for? The craving.
Yeah.
Right?
Cue,
so you have the cue, then you have the craving. So you wake up, cue is I woke up. The craving is I need to go take a shower. That's the craving. And then you have the response, I take the shower. And then you have the reward, I am now clean. So all of almost everything that we do is based on those 4 things. Cue, craving, response, reward.
Right.
From the bad habits to the good ones. If I see a donut, the trigger is I see the donut. The craving is I want the donut. The response is I eat the donut. The reward is I feel better now after I have eaten that donut. So that's how you create a habit, or that's how habits are created. So what we have to do is be aware of that. That's what it is. And think about any habit. That's what it comes down to. Is a cue, a craving, a response, and a reward. Because we wouldn't do shit if we didn't get a reward from it. If the dopamine hits, we wouldn't do it. You're not gonna do anything you don't want to do. Why do we want to have sex? We get vicious dopamine from this shit. It feels good. What's the cue? You see some big ass titties. What's the craving? I want to kiss them. Who kisses titties? That's kind of weird.
Chris, I guess yo ass.
I ain't kissed a titty in a long time. I'm more of a sucker.
I'm a nibbler.
Oh, yeah, freaky ass. He said, I bite some bitches.
I like to nibble a little bit.
Yeah, and so then the craving is you want to do something to the titties. And the response is you do something to the titties. And then the reward is you got to play with the
Going
titties.
down bad hole.
Everybody loves a big titty woman.
Everybody loves breath.
Yes, they do.
No, so then what you could do is then you can start creating better habits because now you know that. So you just have to find a way to start the new cue, to create the new craving, to get the response, and then find a way to reward your new habits. But a lot of times, to break a bad habit and to create new ones, the reward has to outweigh the reward from the doing it the bad way. And that's where we have to find a way to do that. And
Right.
And I think that's where I'm at right now. And I'm telling y'all, this book is a game changer about all of your bullshit and the things that you want to fix. Because I'm telling y'all, going back to awareness, most motherfuckers don't even realize where they're at. They're just walking. And listen, if you're okay with that, cool. But if you desire, like something's off, I promise you're not aware of a lot of shit. So I don't know how y'all feel about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a lot of shit that I'm not even aware of. So still as aware as I think I am. So
And to be honest, we probably will always continue to.
correct. There's so much shit to know. That's what I love. I just respect our awareness and what it can take you.
Hey, I got one for y'all. How do you feel about? Do you think regret is the worst feeling?
I don't think I've had a significant amount of it yet to feel like it really hurts. You know, like I guess like minor regrets here and there, but like I don't think I've had anything like, damn, I should have had kids, or like I should have.
So which makes
school.
me think that you pretty much go for the things you want to go for.
Oh well, hell yeah, man.
Right.
No,
I think that's a good, like, if you're in that state and you're like, I don't really have a ton of regrets, that's a great way to live life.
I think being able to live with no regrets is like more like letting things go than like actually not having it. Because like everybody could have regrets, you know, like going to the liquor store and getting the wrong alcohol and you get home, you're like, I didn't want this shit, you know, like, or anything, like little minor regrets all the time. But
yeah, I guess,
letting them like bother you. And I think that like regret is just kind of living in the past, right? And so like as long as you can look at it and be like, you know, I regret doing that, but like it was a good learning lesson. It was a good, you know,
perspective.
Move forward from it. And that's it. It's more of a future now kind of thing than like tripping about the past. But
I like that. I like that because that's a Stoic philosophy, right? Just it is what it is kind of thing, and then learn from the bullshit, right? But I know some people will say that's easier said than done. So I guess a good way to help you until you get to that point is to just go after everything that you want to go after. Use your imagination. Just do it. You know, just with like you wanted to go talk to that girl. Oh man, I should have talked to that girl. Well, just go talk to that girl. You know, and the reason why you probably aren't doing it is because you're probably worried about some motherfucker. You're probably worried that she's going to reject you. That's why you didn't go talk to her. Oh, you probably didn't want to do that because you worried about somebody thought this.
Yeah, and a lot of times people don't even realize that it's not even in that moment. It's funny because a lot of times it's not even about her; it's about you.
Hell yeah, because you came with probably that energy.
Yeah.
One, you didn't go talk to her, right? So you, of course, but then two, let's say you did go talk to her. A lot of times she might not talk to you because of the shit how you portrayed it, or not even necessarily. It could be just a bad day for her.
Yeah,
she might be like, today I ain't fuck with nobody like that. But you shouldn't let any of that keep you from going to do it. Don't be a creep.
yeah, it ain't about her in that moment. It's about you going for what you want.
don't be a creep about it.
Don't be a weirdo.
It's like after financial advice, like I mean, this isn't financial.
Right.
I mean,
I am not a financial advisor.
This is not relationship advice. Don't check it.
This is not relationship advice. I am not a relationship advisor.
I know.
Hey, where can they find you, D?
PrettyCoolApes.com. I am going crazy right now. I'm about to turn this whole thing over into a new system, but coming soon. For right now, we got the comic books going and clothing line, but PrettyCoolApes.com. Find me there. We all good.
Hey, what about socials?
Socials, we can do Pretty Cool Storytellers, but like I said before, I wanted people to focus on PrettyCoolApes.com. That's where I want people to go to because that is my domain. That is what I own, and I'd rather you go to where I own first and foremost.
It's smart. It's smart. You can find me at CARESNONE.com. One thing about me and where my website is, I want to get more reason for you to want to come back to the site. Because right now, where my energy has been placed has been my social media, which is another person's platform. Even though they pay me now, but the idea is to change that eventually. Instead of going to Instagram to see me, you can come to my shit to see me. So to put the same amount of energy that I put on TikTok, IG, whatever, into my own shit. Now, I will say, but sometimes you're going to still need to use these other platforms to move it to your shit.
Absolutely, you should.
So definitely check out your shit first. But I want my site to be more like what you're talking about, where it's you need a reason to come. Instead of just, okay, this is what he's about, this is shit he sells, and that's it.
Right.
Like, no, like maybe create a community or something. But it's coming. But you can go there now and get you some merch, too.
And we're all about creating communities. Like, I think this whole play that we're doing at the end of the day is going to be about the community creation. And I think NFTs is really going to open this shit up for us. So we're on the right track, bro. We're on the right track.
At Chris CARESNONE on all platforms.
Damn it.
And what about you, Tom? Where can they find you at, man?
Chicago Podcast Studio, baby.
Hey.
And as always,
Yeah.
CARESNONE!
Yeah.